and Daddy, I just got back from a little shopping trip this morning. I was out doing my late birthday shopping for Campy.
Very late.
And very late. And on the way back, I saw a street sign that said Meyer Avenue. And I drove a half a block farther, and there was a big sign that said Weddings by Ramsey. And I thought, well, this is setting the scene for the Meyer-Schlamp wedding reminiscing. And that's what we're gathered here for today, to talk about some of those things. Campy, why don't you tell us a little bit about why we're all here together?
Well, this story begins back in 1866 when Louisa's grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. William H. Small, were married on June the 20th. Then 55 years later, Louise and I were married on June the 20th. Then 60 years later, our granddaughter Emily and her husband, Mo Fletcher, were married on June the 20th. Now, of course, that indicates there were three couples married on the 20th. Now, it just remains to be seen whether any future generations will carry out this tradition. We hope so.
It's 3 weddings, but it covers 5 generations.
That's correct.
Yeah, and 115 years. Mother, what are you thinking about today?
But I'm thinking about what's going to be your next question.
You can always count on my having another question.
Yes, I do.
Well, Campy, let's just talk about you and Gran. How did you and Gran ever meet?
Well, we just really didn't meet. We were just thrown together in the same neighborhood when we were youngsters in grade school.
And same church.
And the same church, that's right.
Although I was 11 at that time.
Yeah.
And
we've just got to know each other all of our lives, almost.
Well, the marriage manuals say that those marriages are more likely to last when you have a similar background.
This proves it.
Similar school, similar religion, similar cultural background of the parents, and both of you came from German families and so forth. Mother, what are some of your early memories of Daddy in that crowd? Was he a little bully, or was he a sweet kid, or what?
He was a little boy.
A little boy.
I remember one time that at church we had some kind of a
Play or cantata or something?
act
Yeah.
on the stage, and he was the main one in that. Do you remember what the name of that was?
I don't remember it now.
Well, maybe that's where...
You remember the gist of the story?
Oh, it's the scripture. We were acting out.
Yeah, I remember about that, but I just don't remember the details. So.
Well, Mother, did you chase Campy until he caught you, or did Campy chase you?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't a continuous chase by either one of us, because there was an interim there where I had another sweetheart.
I think all of us have heard about her. What's her name?
Isabel.
Isabel. She was running in the same crowd.
She was from Bethany also.
Not in our neighborhood crowd.
No.
She didn't know those.
But Mother, didn't you have a Charlie Branson boyfriend one time?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and Margie's brother, Charlie Branson.
Well, then, tell us about getting engaged.
Oh, well, I don't know how many times I proposed to Louise, but just time after time, but she never did accept me until,
I didn't actually turn you down.
No, she didn't turn me down, no.
Left my hooks out.
There was secret. And we referred to that secret as 92. So I indicated to her that I was going to propose to her 92 times. I think she made a record of most of them, didn't you? Didn't you?
I've lost it if I
Well, anyway, there was different occasions, and it was done in different ways, and then finally, when she accepted, we were married.
Did you give rings to each other in those days, or did you give her a wedding ring? I mean, an engagement ring?
I gave her a wedding ring, and that was
Engagement ring.
engagement ring, but that was a little bit unique because most people and most boys give their fiancés diamond rings, but Louise preferred a pearl ring, so that's what I got for her engagement ring.
see, I was ruling the roost already.
I just came across a letter, reading some old letters the other day. You wrote to me at Hanover, and you said, I gave your mother and I were engaged 20 years ago today, or something. Was it November 27th, 1920?
I remember it was November.
That's when he gave me the ring.
Mm-hmm. Well, then, before you were married, you had some planning to do for your family, and you went out shopping for housing, didn't you, or
Yes,
living arrangements?
we decided that we wanted to live out in the north end of town, and so we started looking for lots. And the first place I looked was on Whitting Avenue, and I talked to the realtor about that, and it was one of the lots where the Maringer house was built later in that very vicinity. And while I was talking to this realtor, he said, I'd like to show you a lot which has a $1 million front yard with it. So that's when he brought me over here on Herndon Drive to be directly across from the Garvin Park, which he referred to as a $1 million front yard. And that appealed to us, and we bought it, and made plans to build on it. And of course, we didn't have the finances to build a large permanent home, so we built a temporary home on the back end of the lot. And just the 3 rooms and a bath. And this home was built by Louise's uncle, Charlton Green, who was married to
Lillian Meyer.
yeah, what's that?
Lillian Meyer.
Lillian Meyer Green.
That's who we called Aunt Lily.
Yeah, called Aunt Lily, that's right. And he built that for us, and of course we had to have the plumbing and electrical and taken care of other than what he did. But we built it rather inexpensively, and in fact it cost us only about $750.
Oh, those were the good old days.
And of course I was in 1921. We stayed there until 1926 when we built this present home. And then of course we had no use for the little home in the back, so we sold that, and it was moved off, and I got $510 for that. So it was really rather inexpensive rent for 5 years.
Mother, did you go lot shopping with Daddy?
No, I wasn't along on that
But
trip.
then, of course, I went shopping and I showed them to her.
Did you
So-
see this lot with
Oh, yes.
Garvin Park?
I knew the street. See, they'd already put the street through here
Mm-hmm.
to make that curve.
And I bet you preferred Herndon Drive to Wedding Avenue,
Oh,
didn't you?
indeed. But now, if it were now, you know, I would have had the lot next door, which is much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because that wasn't available.
It looked big in those days,
Mm-hmm.
but now it looks like we should have had a little more.
Relatively speaking, it's small.
Little more.
Yeah. Mother, what are your recollections of the wedding day? Were you all happy day and excited and smiling all over yourself?
I guess so, and Grandmama and Aunt Wilma were pretty busy.
Were they?
And Aunt Mary Heinlein came in from the country, from McCutcheonville, and helped with the preparations and the cooking. And she and Grandmama always had a good time together. So it was fun right from the start.
And what room at Grandmama's house were you married in?
Oh, the room where the piano was. I think she probably called that the piano room.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And were there a large number of guests or just a small number?
Just a few, just
Wasn't
the
over,
families.
wasn't over 20 people all told.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Campy, did you get weak knees during the wedding?
I don't recall it, that probably not.
Well, Mo told us the other day that he got weak knees in the middle of his vows.
Did he?
Yes.
I can remember.
I remember on that day that things were different than they are now. Of course, now you got to go several days ahead of time and have blood tests. Well, blood tests were not required, and all we had to do was go and apply for a license and just somebody to go along with us to witness that Louise weren't off the swamp. So Grandpa did that. He went with us to the courthouse to do that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I kind of thought that part was fun.
Did either of you have, did both of you have parental blessings, or was there one parent or another that thought they wished you wouldn't get married quite yet?
I think it was 100% in favor of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
And when did you get the idea of where to go on your honeymoon?
I don't recall when. It was before the wedding, though. But then, and we.
Oh, I can remember one thing
Good.
that you probably don't. My employer, Clarence Kahn, had been on a lake
Cruise.
and came home and told everybody in the office about it, and brought some literature, you know.
I didn't remember that.
Oh.
And of
So
course,
I thought that'd be the ultimate, you know.
I want to stop for a minute.
Okay.
If I can print.
well, we got on.
Mm-hmm.
We delayed our honeymoon about 10 days because the first cruise that we selected didn't start until about the 30th of June. And so on the 30th of June, we took the train, the 29th of June, we took the train to Chicago, and then stayed there overnight. And then the steamer we were on was called the South America, and it didn't leave until Saturday, and it took us up Lake Michigan up to the Mackinac Islands, and then back down to the Lake Huron to Detroit, and we had some time to spend in Detroit, and Preston Miller and Melbourne, his brother, met us there. We spent some time with them, and one thing we remember particularly about that trip, it was so extremely hot that year. The people were just dying from the heat, not only in the southern part of the States, but around Detroit. So then we resumed our cruise, then up to Cleveland, and then to Buffalo. And then we went around the Niagara Falls, and came back to Cleveland on the same steamer, and instead of coming back the whole way by boat, we took a train from Cleveland to Terre Haute, and then Terre Haute to Evansville.
Did Melbourne and Preston go with us on the boat trip?
What's that?
Did Melbourne and Preston go with us on the boat trip?
No.
That was your honeymoon.
No.
But they did on that trip out of Chicago to the northern part of.
They did?
No, not on the wedding trip, but another trip.
Oh.
No, the day before the wedding trip started.
I didn't know about that. Don't recall it.
Mother, did you make some of your own clothes to take on your wedding, or did you just go on a buying spree, or what?
Well, the funny thing was about the weather. The year before, we had gone on a vacation with a whole bunch of other people to Mammoth Cave. And that was on the river, and we thought it would be cool on the river, so we took the proper clothes along. And then, no, the other way. It was cold there, and that's what made us think that, well, if it was cold there, then surely when we went on the lakes, it'd be still colder. So we took
Sweaters?
nice warm things along, and then we had nothing hardly to wear, and all that heavy luggage to carry around.
Oh. Well, then, was the house ready for you to move into when you got back?
We moved into the day we were married.
Oh.
And you didn't leave until 10 days later?
9 days.
What's that?
You
Yeah.
didn't leave until 9 days later,
Yeah.
then.
Really 8, wasn't it? 21 to 29.
I remember one little incident on the trip when we were in Cleveland. We had some time there. We didn't go any place,
Oh, I know.
but I got off that boat and trying to find some popcorn. And I looked and I looked and I looked for various places and couldn't find any popcorn.
Want to turn it off?
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. We have heard little things about the wedding day itself, but maybe you could just recall them for the record. The music and the flowers and the picture taking and
And the two preachers.
and the two preachers. Who all was involved in the wedding?
You want to talk about that?
And you could tell about getting your dress made and so forth.
I'm not a very good talker, but as far as the ceremony is concerned, what was the first you said? The
Two ministers.
The two ministers.
2 ministers. One was our minister at Bethany at that time, and his name.
Walter Funk.
And the other was our minister of years ago that we had already engaged that whenever we got married we would have him for our minister. So he came.
That was Lois Drash. She had moved to Enid, Oklahoma, and they came from Enid to perform the wedding.
And then the music was, of course, Uncle Walter. He played the piano. And
Did Grandmama have the organ then?
Yes.
yes,
Did she?
but it wouldn't play. I mean, they tried to get it fixed. Nobody knew how, and so later on, Walter and Henry took it apart and got it playing.
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, Gran, tell what the name of the piece was they played.
The what?
The name of the piece?
they.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was a popular song at that time, and we had him play it. And how does it start?
The sweetest story ever told.
Tell me, do you love me? And did you wear a corsage or carry a bouquet or what?
Carried a bouquet of yellow roses, had, of course, a white dress.
And
And every year since?
the yellow roses became a tradition, didn't they?
yes, and Grandmama had made some nice bouquets from her backyard, and they were decorating the tables and windowsills.
Mm-hmm. Campy, do you want to tell us the tradition you started with the yellow roses?
Well, first of all, made it a point to get her yellow roses every year for our anniversary.
And I remember when we were children that you the size of the bouquet was determined by the number of years.
Yes, I don't know how long I kept that up. I didn't keep it up. This year should have been 60.
5 dozen yellow roses. Well, I know that for a while it was 8, and then 9, and then 10. And you were married at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right. Standard time, not daylight saving
Daylight
time.
saving time. Well,
Another thing, after the wedding, after the dinner that evening, when we were ready to go home, of course, nobody had any automobiles that time around then, so we took what we needed down to Main and Iowa Street and got on a streetcar.
And before we got to Main and Iowa Street, we stopped at Garfield and Iowa Street just to let my great aunt Christine Mull take a look at what we had on and how we were faring. You know, she was a chronic invalid.
did you wear your wedding dress on the streetcar, or did you have a going away dress?
You wore the wedding dress home, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mother, why don't you tell us a little bit about your grandmother and grandfather that were married on that same day? They came to the wedding. They were still living on their 55th anniversary. But did they tell you any stories about how they met, or?
Well, they came from each of them came from a very large family. My grandfather was the Mull family, who were living in McCutcheonville at that time. And my grandmother's maiden name was Snyder, and her father was a Methodist preacher. In fact, he was one of these circuit riders. And so they had a sort of a custom when they'd be sent to another place. Why, of course, the sisters of my grandmother's, it was a large family, and there'd be a number of them, and they would shine up to some of the country boys where their father was preaching, and that's what happened to my grandmother and grandfather. She was, I think, the second in this large, big family and so she liked him, and everybody liked him. He was just sweet and gentle and quiet. Everybody loved him and called him Uncle William. So Uncle William went to the to the 4th of July picnic, which was a custom with the 4th Street ME Church. At that time, had a different name.
German ME Church.
German ME Church. And I've lost my train of thought.
They went to the 4th of July picnic.
Yes, they went there and mingled with the other young people. And my grandfather said later, well, when we went to that picnic and I saw your grandmama, why, I thought she was the prettiest girl I ever did see. So that was love at first sight for them. And they had a kind of a, well, it wasn't supposed to be a custom, but that's really what it was, that whenever they'd be sent to a new place, the father was, why, the oldest daughter was dropped off as a bride. And then they went on to the next one. I don't think that held true entirely, but my grandmother liked my grandfather, and she was pretty.
She was pretty. Wasn't one of her sisters Amory's mother?
Yes, my grandmother was the number 2 child in this big family, and Amory's mother and Caroline Schweinfurth was the last.
And she was dropped off in Michigan.
Yes.
Now, since we're talking about the malls, they, I don't know when this happened, but anyway, they bought a home, a small home on Iowa Street, 208 West Iowa Street. And then after the grandmother had died, and, the grandfather moved in with Louise's parents. And then he sold that house to my parents at 208 West Iowa. And of course, that's where they lived until their death.
I believe he lived only a year and a half after she died.
Just about, I think.
Mother, you spent all your childhood at 516 Reed, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Except visits, you know.
Oh, but I
trips.
mean, that's
Yes.
where you live.
Yes, that's
You
where
were
I lived.
born there?
Yes.
And Campy, where were you born and what houses did you live in?
Well, a number of them. We moved around more than the Myers or more than Louise and I have. But I was born on Michigan Street, the second door from Elsa's, and across the street from St. Paul's Lutheran Church. And then I don't remember just what sequence, but we did live on Franklin Street between Baker Avenue, between Garfield and Reed. And then we lived on Louisiana Street, across from the old ballpark, between Reed and Garfield didn't come through, between Reed and Baker. And then the folks moved out on 2nd Avenue Street, and moved upstairs above the Redinger family. And then when we were married, they were living on Main Street between Iowa and Delaware, above a store building.
Were they, did they live on Main Street before Redinger's or after?
Before.
Before. Well, I thought
No, you're right. Redinger's was after the Main Street, that's right.
And then they moved from Redinger's on to
Yeah,
Iowa.
Because I remember after we were married, then we went to visit them when they lived in the Redinger building.
I remember going to see Grandma and Grandpa there as a baby
That's all.
before they moved on to Iowa.
That's all.
Marty.
And they, well, Grandma Mull died in March of 1924.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 13 months old then. And I guess Grandma and Grandpa moved there soon after.
I remember, too, when they lived on 2nd Avenue, Louise and I did most of our traveling on a bicycle. And we had loaded that bicycle down with Louise and a load of clothes, took over there to wash, and also our dog.
Oh, was that Stray Dog?
A little stray dog.
When did you get Stray Dog?
Oh, just
Right away.
Very shortly after we moved here. She was in this greenhouse across the street from us at that time. Lived with the people there. I've forgotten their name, you remember?
She liked us.
Yeah.
So she adopted you as her family and stayed with you?
Yes.
And the people didn't care?
Oh, no, I didn't care.
It was just a stray dog. That's what we called her then. And there were several other dogs that came and lived with us for a while, but not very long.
Ask her when she died.
Do you remember what year Stray Dog died?
Yes. The same year that Grandpa died.
No,
No.
that was Sambo.
Sambo, oh yes, Sambo. No, I remember.
You had Stray Dog,
I remember a stray dog, you know.
you had Stray Dog and Sport.
No, I don't remember.
You remember what year we got Sport?
No.
Remember how old Leonard was,
Leonard
Mother?
was big enough to coax her to follow him, and then come and tell me, look what a nice dog I found. Or found me, I believe.
Yes, and wasn't it a mangy thing?
Oh, yes, it was in terrible shape.
The way I remember it, Mother, you told Leonard that he could keep the dog because you didn't think it was going to live over the night. Lived and lived and lived. Y'all don't remember what year we lost Sport either, huh?
No, no.
And how old was Sport when she had the eye problem?
What's that?
Right.
How old was Sport when she had the eye problem?
I don't remember.
Was it Tar Baby or Midnight that scratched out Sporty's eye?
Oh,
Eye?
Oh, no.
No.
Our kitties wouldn't do that.
Oh, I see.
Well, wasn't Aunt Billy here on a visit at that time?
What's that?
Wasn't Aunt Billy here on a visit at the time that happened? And did
Yes.
she sit in the chair and hold Sporty?
All night long.
And yes, the dogs have been chasing each other in the lot, empty lot next to us. And we didn't know whether she ran into a piece of stubble, you know, or whether she got in the trash can or what. But we never did find out, but oh, she felt so bad. She leaned up against the wall and just sat there all night, and we sat with her.
Mm.
And then the next day she was a little better.
Mm-hmm. The healing powers are tremendous, aren't they? You moved into this house after Leonard was born.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Mother, weren't you pretty crowded in the little house with
That's why
3
we
babies?
moved. That's why we built a bigger house.
And you sort of helped plan the floor plan here, didn't you?
She did plan the floor plan.
And then you drew the blueprint.
I made the blueprints for it.
Well, Mother, I think it's a great floor